Okay, so today we're going to be making some adjustable torque rods. This is for Volvo 240, but this applies to pretty much any car with, like, 4-link setup or whatever you want to call it. It also works on the panhard rod, any linkage like that, connecting your axle up. Now I did a Ford 8.8 swap, and the pinion angle ended up being slightly off, and the axle offset in the car was about a ½ inch over from where it needed to be, so I already made one up for the panhard bar. I mean, it's the same thing for the panhard or the torque arms, it's all the same thing. So basically all you got to do is, I'm going to show it later in the video, but we're going to be throwing some of this hardware in there. Now this is 3/4 by 16 thread per inch, which is like the standard, I guess, for doing this kind of stuff. They even sell these like Welding inserts for these. Hold on, let me aim the camera down a little bit. Yeah, they sell these like Welding tube inserts that are the same thread pitch, and those are like 15 bucks a piece though. These nuts right here are like a few bucks a piece, so, and they're locally available, so don't have to wait for them to come in the mail, which is perfect because I'm impatient as fuck. So yeah, what we're going to be doing is just make a cut here, weld this to this, and then weld the nut to this, and this will be the lock nut. If you can find a thinner lock nut, it'll give you more travel on this thing, so maybe cut it in half or something and you get more travel. I don't know, I'm too lazy to do that though. But yeah, you can get this shit at like Ace Hardware, 3/4 by 16 thread per inch. Make sure to get grade 8 because it's stronger. Don't get grade 5. And you should probably have a 220 volt welder, because I don't think a 120 volt is really up to the task of doing this. It's pretty thick metal. So yeah, we'll get to it. I'll start cutting right now. Okay, so get a straight cut. What I do is I just get some masking tape, put it on there about where you want the cut, and just get it parallel with the straight edge on this bushing, or perpendicular to the torque rod itself, just kind of get it straight as possible, and then lay it down, wrap it around. Oops, a little off. So just make sure those lines line up, like right there, and we're good. So that's pretty straight. Now I could use a grinder, sawzall, whatever you want to use. I'm using a hacksaw because don't want to get the grinder out. So go ahead and just start making the cut. Like that. Here, kind of rotate it a bit to make sure that cut stays straight. It's looking good, looking pretty close. Rotate it a little bit. Alright. There you go. That's off. Now it doesn't really matter where you make the cut. I mean, it kind of does. Like, you should put it over to the side. I actually made that a little bit too long for my taste. But yeah, the closer it is to the edge, the less you have to worry about making it perfectly straight. Like if it's in the middle and it's not perfect, it's gonna make a big difference on the ends. But if it's on the end and it's not perfect, basically you're just gonna get like that much, which is like nothing. That much you have to worry about. So just make it enough, give yourself enough room for a weld right here. That's about all you need to worry about. Alright, this sucker's ready to tack up. Just kind of center the bolt, you know, as good as you can there. Whatever, it's not really that important. Just kind of center it. I'll move this out of the way. And yeah, we're gonna give it a few tacks. Now I'm gonna kind of look away with the GoPro in my own eyes so I don't fucking burn my eyes up. Just get it close and then look away and go for it. Come back. Alright. Looks like a good tack. Let's flip it around. Another one. Put another one like right over here. I guess we'll only do 2 this time. Don't really need 4. Screw it. I don't think the bolt's gonna get screwed up by the heat. But yeah. So, let's do another tack real quick. Get it kind of lined up. And then look away. Looks good. Alright, yeah. Let's weld the fuck out of that thing. I'm not gonna record the welding because I don't want to screw up my camera. So, hold up. Okay, yeah. So, I never claimed to be a good welder. These ain't the prettiest welds. But, you know, they'll hold up, I think. They're okay. It'll be under the car anyway, and it'll be painted, so you won't really be able to see it. And I don't think it's gonna break. It looks pretty decent. Like I said, I got the welder yesterday, so yeah, I think it'll be alright. But that's one side done. Now I just need to put the nut all the way on, tack that onto the control arm, or torque arm, and then, you know, throw a coat of paint on that shit and we're ready to roll. So alright, so that's how that's gonna go. So yeah, basically just drop that sucker in there. Drop it in there. Yeah, see, I got the phone. Helps me keep the angle right. Ooh, look at that. But yeah, just drop that sucker in there. Throw a few tacks on it. There you go. It's quieter over here. Yeah, the way I tack that is I just do like 1, 2, 3, 4 like opposing tacks. Or that's out of view. Oops. So yeah, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'll weld it in quarter segments so I don't overheat the nut. I don't know if that even does anything or if it's even worth bothering with, but you know, I'm not a fucking pro welder or anything. I don't know what I'm doing. I just bought this welder yesterday. Don't even know what I'm doing yet, so that's how I do it though. I pour water on it to cool it off between the 4 welds. Trying to keep the bolt hard. And yeah, we'll just do that real quick. Alright, we're out at the end of the garage. It's a little windy out, so you might not be able to hear everything I'm saying, but basically I'm just going to put like a bevel on this so it welds up easier, and clean all the paint off with the wire wheel so it welds up better. And yeah, kind of face that off right there, face that off and get it straight and smooth. So let's see. Okay, so this is how you know where to make your cut, you know, so you get the same stock length plus the adjustability. So screw this all the way, make sure the lock nut's on there. This right here is going to be welded wherever it's going to go. But screw it on all the way. Also, these 3/4 inch bolts, it'd be good if they were longer, you know, the threaded portion. This is the longest one I could find, and with this thickness of lock nut, it'll give you about 15 millimeters of adjustment in either direction, which isn't that much, mostly because this lock nut's so freaking thick. Like I said, you could cut that in half and then you get more adjustment. I'm just too lazy to do that, and I really only need that much adjustment to get the pinion angle right, so this will work fine. But yeah, just measure the screw both all the way down, measure the length right there. That's 30 mils. The battery's dead in this thing, I don't even care. So just bring that down to 15, right about there, and then back that nut off. Until it's right there at 15. There you go, that's the midpoint of adjustment right there. So get your Sharpie, get your torque arm, and kind of estimate where it was cut, you know, where you originally made that cut. Just put it where you think that face of the pipe is. Looks like about right there. And then mark right here, right on the edge of that nut. Okay, that's where we're going to make the cut. So then we get 15 mils of adjustment that way, and 15 mils of adjustment that way, like that. Got it? Alright. Do the same trick with the tape on here to get that 90-degree, perfect 90-degree cut. Clean it up and tack the nut on there, and you know, you already know how that goes. We already did that at the front. So I'm gonna shut the camera off for a second, get this done, and we'll be right back. Alright, so we got this all tacked up, or not tacked up, but it's fitted up. You know, I threw the thing on there, kind of see if it's leaning left, right, you know, from both angles. Kind of check it out, see how flat it is. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just get it as close as you can, you know. Doesn't really matter. But yeah, we're gonna tack this up real quick, weld it up, and we'll throw a coat of paint on it to stop it from rusting, keep it looking pretty. Throw that bitch under the car and see how it turns out. So I'll be back in a minute. Ooh. So there's the completed product. you know, it took about 30 minutes for each one. It's like 15 bucks in hardware. Those bolts are actually pretty expensive. If you could find longer bolts, it would be better. These ones are like 3 inches long, the threaded portion. And if you could find skinnier nuts here, you'd get even more adjustment out of it. The lock nuts, but you can probably cut one of those in half, like I said earlier. Probably wouldn't be that difficult. But yeah, it's like 15 bucks in hardware, half hour for each one. I actually found these poly bushings in the junkyard from a Volvo, which is kind of cool. So I took those. Somebody put fresh bushings and shocks on their car right before they junked it, so that's good for me. And yeah, if you got any comments or anything, like, let me know. I'm using a GoPro right now. It's attached to my head, so if you want me to use like a camera with a tripod, maybe it'll be more stable. It might be like nauseous if you're looking at this and it's all shaky, but whatever. Next video we're gonna be working on this. Gonna be making custom coilovers, some threaded sleeves, some springs, you know, whatever. Coney inserts. We'll be working on that next. So yeah, stay tuned, you know. Later.